enough of the roleplay, guys. I'm going to have to talk to you very, very quickly about how this fight's actually going to work, because I know a few of you guys are pretty interested how this PvP series works, and I've explained in the past that when one person has a go, you pass the game save file, and you have a week or so, 2 weeks, to do your move and pass the game file over to your next opponent. Well, that's not going to happen in this regard. In this regard, how you run a fleet fight is a little bit different. It's still taking in turns, but instead of having a week to complete your action, you have 5-10 minutes, basically however long it takes for you to do your attack run, and then you immediately pass the file back to your competitor who is sat online, probably doing a screen share on Skype, just watching what you're doing. Or not, as the case may be, you might want to be a bit secretive about it. You pass the game save file on, and then you carry on. But through the benefit of being able to edit, I'm going to merge those two threads together as the save file is going to get passed to me. So you're going to see his side of the actual combat, but you're not going to hear his voice, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do is going to put in some music, some cool stuff, and you guys are going to be able to watch his turn, and then you'll be able to see my reaction and hear me talk through my combat actions, and then we're going to find out who wins the day. So we're going to go back to the game, and well, I believe the very first person's go is Nightshade Industries, because I've taken my time to get set up here, and Nightshade Industries was around the moon first, and he does have the smaller fleet, so there's less stuff to have to organise. He gets to go first. So on that basis, I'll see you when it's my turn again. Welcome back. You've just seen Nightshade's footage, and by the looks of it, let's have a look. Oh, well, that definitely looks like a bit of my ship. Oh, that's not good. That's a major part of my ship's armor, and that's definitely one of my engines. Armor, engine. Wow. Oh, that's Nightshade's ship. Huh. Well, it definitely looks like Nightshade Industries has successfully attacked Red Interceptor 2 and disabled it. I'm wondering if anybody's alive there. Well, let's see. Can I flick to him? Yes. So this is what's left of Red Interceptor 2. Now I'm not taking control of him, this isn't my next go, but holy crap. Wow, okay, well that's a problem. Okay, right, oh, I think retaliation shall be swift. But we've got quite a lot of assault fighters, and I'm gonna have to kill, yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of that ship. I'm definitely gonna have to kill it. There you go, let's turn your RCS off. Okay, well, first things first. Yep. Very first things we're going to do is, as we turn off, we're going to activate our engines. So all 6 or 8 are on, and then these should fly off next. So yeah, and I'm going to allow time just to speed forward, just to get them away from my ship, which means that these weapons are now live. There you go, and then all of these weapons are now live, and then these should be action groups that are on the ship. So, without further ado, let's set a target. Now I think because the previous one that's over here, the Angelus Devastator 2, which just made its attack run, I'm going to leave that. Reason being is you can't do much more damage, whereas when he managed to take out one of my more heavily armoured small ships in one attack run. So what I'm going to do is pick on a different one, and I'm going to tell this guy to get within, I'm thinking within about 400 meters. No, within 200 meters. So I'm going to bring you back in when I am within firing range of the enemy ship. Hi everybody and welcome back. We are looking down the nose camera at the Angelus Devastator 3 from my assault ship, the Terminator class assault ship. So if I come out to that camera view, there we go. And the reason why I chose to use these assault ships, first off, is they're complete glass cannons, which means that I might only get one chance to use these before they're targeted by the enemies being too dangerous, because they carry the firepower of a fighter, these small weaponry, as well as the firepower of a bomber. Now, Nightshade Industries have not come across against these, so they might be surprised at the firepower that these have and decide that these are too dangerous, more dangerous perhaps than my bomber, which I'm hoping to keep in reserve to be able to attack the capital grade ship if necessary. Anywho, we are lined up on our target. He's currently end on to us. I've got the staging set just so, I think. Yeah, that's the next lot to go. So I think it is just a case of waiting for shots and firing in 3, 2, 1. Oh, glancing shots. We appear to... Yes, we appear to have separated parts from the ship. That's amazing. Let's pull off. It appears the ship appears to be disintegrating. I'm not quite sure how much damage we've done here, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like we've separated off at least one of the wing pieces there. The explosion is just the munitions blowing up once they've finished. That's pretty good. We're still looking at the back of the ship, but it appears to be a significant portion of the ship has been damaged. It appears to be engine appears to be coming loose, and that appears to be flying off. So I'm just going to come back to my ship, bring up my HUD. We are still 200 meters away, so those projectiles managed to get a decent amount of speed. So without further ado, I'm going to actually fire again at the ship. And we're going to follow these in as we fire it. So firing. Oh, definitely an impact. We definitely had an impact. Yeah, vast portions of these ships appears to be drifting away from each other now. And I'm going to bring up our camera and we're going to have a look. Now we're still locked onto the pod part of the camera. But that ship definitely looks like it's not going anywhere. We've managed to remove all of the engines. There are no engines connected to that ship anymore. There's still a mech jib attached to it and appears to be a crew section, so none of the crew have actually died. But it definitely looks like this ship, the Aegis Devastator 3, is out of commission. You can see the cockpit still remains intact. There is some weaponry on the end of the cockpit, but so we know this ship has no way of moving in any way, shape or form, or even deploying that weaponry. It may have the torque to be able to turn around, but as far as I'm concerned, this ship can't do anything other than continue to be a sitting target. So there's no point in wasting my ammunition on this target, so I'm just going to go point at perpendicular to the target. This ship, the assault ships, are quite heavy when it comes to not using RCS. If you're using the power of just the torque of the wheels. So we're just moving away from the target now. I'm gonna kill my rotation and then tell my ship to remain prograde. And we're going to drift away from the Aegis Devastator just to make sure that it can't get to me. So there we go. That is the power of these assault ships. They can launch. It's very similar to my Spider class of launch subship, which has hundreds of these. We managed to blow up one of Nightshade's cruisers beforehand in one of the series by just one shot. We think these got wedged inside of it somehow when it blew up. But anyway, yeah, demonstrating that in just a couple of shots, we've managed to completely destroy one of his more heavily armoured vehicles. The Interceptor class vehicles are supposed to be able to hold up against a few shots, but not against the power of this particular assault vessel. It's performed admirably so far. I'm very pleased with it. We're a kilometre away. There's no way he's going to be able to get a shot off from there. So I'm going to be passing the save file back to Nightshade and see what he can pull out the bag. He has got another Interceptor left to do what he wants with. He still has his first Interceptor, which has got some weaponry on it, and he's still got his Capital class ship. So, over to Nightshade. appears like Nightshade has decided that he wanted to wipe out the other assault ship, the one that hasn't fired anything off yet. So far, by the looks of it, the damage he's been able to do is he's knocked off the front mount, which included the camera, so we've got no camera view, unfortunately. We've still got our full RCS. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate our engines. No, not working. There we go, and then we are going to activate our little weapon safeties. We're going to get rid of them. Time fast forward a little bit, and then we are going to point at our target, wherever he's gone, and we're going to deal with him. Now this, if I manage to get rid of this problem, let's call it a problem, he has lost, he appears to have fired all of his weaponry at me. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of him to stop him doing anything like ramming me or anything desperate like that. So we're just going to get pointed at target. We're going to reel the target in a little bit. I don't want him getting away from me too far. And I'm going to turn my RCS on, and what we'll do is we'll use our RCS to slow our ship down as we get closer to him. So I'm just going to fast forward time a little bit. I'm just going to let him, I'm going to reel his ship in, so I've got a bit of a better shot at him, and I basically want to slow it down. So we're going to reduce our target speed so we don't end up slamming into him while we do our other operations. So bring the target down to 1 meter a second is fine, because we can slowly get closer, get more accurate shots. So, you know, that'll do just about fine. And we're launching our first shot, which is the first 6 of the lot. So launching in 3, 2, 1. Let's see, is it a hit? I think it's a miss. I definitely think it's a miss. Yeah, they've gone off target there. And we're firing in 3, 2, 1. There we go, coming in. Oh wow, look at that hit. We've misaligned his cockpit, that might actually be free. Look at that, one hit and we've completely destroyed him. He's got no engines left, and yeah, that's the munitions just exploding once they've got rid to maximum range, just to reduce lag. But yeah, it looks like we did a direct hit on his central section there, hit him in the engines, caused a chain reaction. This part here is completely just blown sideways, and his cockpit is completely misaligned. I suspect they're not even attached to each other anymore. So I'm going to go back to my ship when I can eventually. Look at all these parts just scattered everywhere. It's crazy. Come on. Ooh, what was that? That was... That's a mech jib unit. I must have blown his mech jib unit off. That's... I don't know why I find that amusing. It just is. Okay, so that's the end of my go. Nightshade has 1 interceptor left and a few shots left on it. I'm not quite sure what target he's going to go for, but he's going to have to do something. I'm back after Nightshade's turn, and it appears I'm at a loss for words. It appears that Nightshade Industries, with their last interceptor and with very little ammunition, used their interceptor as a weapon. They rammed my interceptor with their interceptor. It appears that my cockpit is still there if I switch to my cockpit. So I survived. In Nightshade Interceptors there are two cockpits, one in the middle and one on the end. The one in the front, which is the pilot's cockpit, survived, strangely enough, and so did mine. The impact happened in the centre of both vehicles, causing both vehicles to fly apart and major parts of the centre to be destroyed. Unfortunately, that's where Nightshade houses his engineers. If you can see, there's an entire debris field here. We've got a probe there, we've got another probe there, and we've got a probe there, and we've got one of these probes is actually a ship, which is the forward section. So the pilot survived. He obeyed orders and was ordered to ram his vehicle in. So this is a new low for Nightshade Industries. I mean, I've commented before that he has seemingly very little regard, perhaps, for their pilots. Well, this is a new low. This is a reason why I'm fighting him. He started the war in the first place, refused to back down. I was just trying to protect safe for everybody, and now he's resorted to ramming ships with ships and killing the only actual casualty and killing his own crewmen. I'm not at a loss for words, but it is now my go. There are how many Nightshades? I don't believe there are any Nightshade vehicles left. We've got Devastator 2 is destroyed. Got Devastator 4 is destroyed. So Devastator 3? Devastator 3 is destroyed. So my only target, the only target that is left in the Nightshade's arsenal is, if I zoom out far enough, is not Leviathan, is the Icarus Cruiser Mark V. So I fought against this before. It's quite a long ship. We investigated it before in our last scouting mission. So I think I'm going to use the bomber because this is its intended target. The prototype type bomber that I've launched, and its one and only job is to deal with the heavy type large class of ships that are that can be deployed, and Nightshade Industries did send a large ship up, so I'm going to go and deal with that. And this is Nightshade's last ship. He just used his last interceptor to ram my ship, so God, I've no idea what he intends to use that as. So I'm going to set the Icarus as a target, and I'm going to set it to 200 meters. And I'll bring you guys back in when we're close to the target. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our target, the Icarus Cruiser Mark V. Now, this ship has seen the light of day before. In my previous series, it was brought out as the flagship of Nightshade Industries, and it looks like they've dusted her off to have another go at taking out capital ships. Now, once my bomber, she is a bit slow and heavy. She's got a few reaction wheels on her. The idea for this ship is not to be fast and quick and manoeuvrable. The idea for this ship is to be stable, because when these munitions light off, there we go, and I'm just getting rid of those collars there. When these munitions light off, they do push my ship back quite a long way, so having something that's heavy and not too nimble is a really, really good idea. So while we're at it, I'm going to pull out my camera and we're going to have a look at the cruiser. Now, the cruiser is currently side on to us, displaying its solar panels, and it appears that we've locked onto the main command cab. If I get rid of all of that, you see at the front there, there is the large drill bit, which is, if I pull out the ivy on this fella, and there we go. The large drill bit on the front is designed specifically to destroy capital class vessels, so large vessels. Alright, I'm just going to let this drift on by. We are slowly getting away from the Mark V cruiser, but not to any degree. Okay, so it's no longer obstructing our view. What we're looking at is the side of the ship. Now, she appears to, as well as this large kind of mole-like anti-capital drilling utensil, you can see these long proles here that look like lots of separatrons attached to it. These are definitely normal size anti-ship weapons. I wonder if I can get a better shot using my camera. So I'll come out of the cockpit and flick to my camera. Nope. What I'm going to do is, see, my ship is going to carry on pointing at the target. It appears that the cruiser is actually upside down by my relative position. Okay, so we're going to let that carry on steadying out there. We're going to go back to our cockpit. You can see that we're not quite pointed at the target yet. So we appear to be pointing at the rear of the ship. I'm going to turn my RCS on just to help turn it. Now we're slowly drifting towards the front of the ship now, you can see. So I'm going to be coming into my cockpit view. There we go. Definitely appears that we're more or less pointing at the target. Bit worried about that debris, but we'll see. Okay, I definitely think it's time for us to take a shot. Ah, that's directly in the way of our first shot, I think. Yep, so I'm gonna let that carry on drifting out of the way. There we go. And there we are. It's out of the way now. That is good. Okay, now we are still directly pointed at the cruiser. So I'm going to go to our cockpit view. And we're going to be firing our first shot. It should be aimed somewhere around there. So firing in 3, 2, 1, firing. There go our shots. It looks like it's going to be a direct hit on the rear. That is a direct collision with the rear of the ship. It looks like we've definitely loosened something or other. The way his weapons are waggling around. We're gonna come back to the cockpit. Now this is going away from us because these weapons. So I'm going to bring my targeting down. The weapons do actually push me back quite hard. Because the small ship, big weapons. There you go. Bring it down to... So 250 meters away. The target is now spinning. That could cause us a little bit of a problem. So we're going to see what we can do. Fire. Oh. Once. Oh, that's a direct hit. Oh my gosh, that's a direct hit on his cockpit. There's debris absolutely everywhere. Oh my gosh, that's wow. There's his main cockpit. There's his secondary cockpit. The ship appears to have been completely destroyed. Let's lock on to that one. So there's his main cockpit. It's just flying off into the distance there. And what is left of his main ship appears to just be some communications and another cockpit. There are no more weapons on this ship. There are no more weapons on this ship, ladies and gentlemen. I can honestly say that we have finished this war. This fleet fight is over. I have managed to destroy, absolutely destroy his entire fleet. Just look at that debris just flying everywhere. It's crazy. With 2 shots to completely destroy it, it was just a completely lucky hit. It must have hit just behind the cockpit where the fuel tanks join on. And once those fuel tanks go up, generally ships tend to disintegrate. We've seen it before on interceptors, and now we've seen it before on the cruiser. I mean, just look at all this debris just everywhere. It's crazy. Let's see if we can get a good view. There you go. Yeah, it definitely looks like there's been an explosion inside. Look at the plates. They've been pushed out of alignment. They're going in near the front. They shouldn't be doing that. And it looks like definitely there's been an explosion at the front, just pushing everything away. Just the whole thing just flew apart. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Our fight is over. You can say that this is finished. We have a fleet in orbit around the moon. We have a fleet in orbit around the moon. We have a bomber still active. We've got the there we go. We've got a bomber still active. We've got assault ships, one there and one down here somewhere. We should have 2 assault ships completely operational. We've got a bomber and we've got our capital class ships. So we've lost both of our interceptors through to enemy action, but beyond that it's been a flawless victory, and we've suffered no deaths, whereas Nightshade has suffered a few deaths, mainly at his own hands. But we've got a fleet sat around the moon quite happily, and we have there we go, we have got the capital class ship, the where have we gone? The Leviathan, still sat in orbit around Minmus. Nightshade has not moved against it. Nightshade initially at the start of this big fight, at the start of this season, claimed early on that he wanted Minmus, and he has failed to defend Minmus, failed to move on Minmus. I've managed to pull out a victory from the Mun and from Minmus. I now have complete military control of both of those, as well as having ships in orbit around Eve. I have my capital class ship in Eve, so I have 3 planets. Nightshade controls no planets, and there you go. We've got Tuxedo's Industries has control of Duna. So 1 to Tuxedo's Industries, 3 to Crux Industries, and for all of their valiant efforts, I have to say that Nightshade Industries is has been unsuccessful. So, this is the end of the episode. I'd like to say thank you very much to everybody for watching, and just in the background there, just showing you the different debris fields. Just look at that from today's fight. This looks absolutely amazing with all those different thickness. You can tell where most of the battle happened, but just look at the debris just flying off in different directions. That looks pretty cool. It's got different debris for different stuff there. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, please slap the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed, if you did like this, please hit the thumbs up. If you did not like this, on the other hand, please hit the thumbs down and leave a comment. Let me know how I can improve my series. Keep your eyes peeled for Series 3 coming soon. There's going to be a couple of taster episodes are going to be released before the main Series 3 starts for Kerbal Space Program PvP. I might be playing a little bit of career modes. Some of the new career modes and contracts has come out as well. So keep your eyes peeled for more Kerbal Space Program based content, and any other content on my channel like Vault Wars, Minecraft, Saints Row, Dishonored. So thank you very much for watching. I've been 4040. My competitor today has been Nightshade. Thank you very much to him, and to mods who've been playing Tuxedo's Industries in Series 2 as well, now that Series 2 has finally come to an end. And thank you for you guys most of all for watching. You guys have been amazing, and I'm doing this. Now, I would not be doing this if you guys weren't supporting me. So thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.